boys and girls. I loved art so much last week that I decided to come along this week again. And guess what? I've got my big sister with me today. She is called Katie. Come on up, Katie.
Hi, Zach.
Hi, Katie.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
Say hello to the boys and girls.
Zach? There's only you and me.
No, there's not. Look.
Hi, boys and girls. Ever since you told me about art, Zach, I have really wanted to come. Who's doing the talk this week?
It's Wendy this week. I love when Wendy does it. She's so good.
She is. Have you done your actions for Our God's a Great Big God?
Yeah, it was so much fun. Have you done it yet?
Yes, and it was fun. Have you done yours, boys and girls? If you haven't, it's not too late to send it along. Just record and you'll see yourself next week. Bye! Over to Wendy!
Good morning, everybody. I'm going to be telling you the Bible story this morning and then showing you a little craft that goes along with it. I hope you enjoy it. Today's story is taken from Matthew chapter 6, chapter 9 and Luke chapter 12. It's called the Sermon on the Mount. Wherever Jesus went, lots of people went too. They loved being near him. Old people, young people, all kinds of people came to see Jesus. Sick people, well people, happy people, sad people, and worried people. Lots of them, worrying about lots of things. What if we don't have enough food or clothes, or suppose we run out of money? What if there isn't enough and everything goes wrong and we won't be all right? What then? When Jesus saw all the people, his heart was filled with love for them. They were like a little flock of sheep that didn't have a shepherd to take care of them. So Jesus sat them all down and he talked to them. The people sat quietly on the grassy mountainside and listened. From where they sat, they could see the blue lake glittering below them and little fishing boats coming in from a night's catch. The spring air was fresh and clear. "See those birds over there?" Jesus said. Everyone looked. Little sparrows were pecking at seeds along the stony path. Where do they get their food? Perhaps their pantries all stocked up, cabinets full of food. Everyone laughed. Who'd ever seen a bird with a bag of groceries? No, Jesus said, they don't need to worry about that because God knows what they need and he feeds them. And what about these wild flowers? Everyone looked. All around them, flowers were growing. Anemones, daisies, pure white lilies. Where do they get their lovely clothes? Do they make them? Do they go to work every day so they can buy them? Do they have closets full of clothes? Everyone laughed again. Who's ever seen a flower putting on a dress? No, Jesus said, they don't need to worry about that because God clothes them in royal robes of splendour. Not even a king is that well dressed. They had never met a king, but as they gazed out over the lake, glittering and sparkling below them, the hillsides dressed in reds, purples and golds, they felt a great burden lift from their hearts. They could not imagine anything more beautiful. Little flock, Jesus said, you are more important than birds. More important than flowers. The birds and the flowers don't sit and worry about things, and God doesn't want his children to worry either. God loves to look after the birds and the flowers, and he loves to look after you too. Jesus knew that God would always love and watch over the world he had made, everything in it, birds, flowers, trees, animals, everything, and most of all his children. Even though people had forgotten, the birds and the flowers hadn't forgotten. They still knew their song. It was the song, all of God's creation had sung to him from the very beginning. It was a song people's hearts were made to sing. God made us. He loves us. He is very pleased with us. It was why Jesus had come into the world, to sing them that wonderful song, to sing it not only with his voice, but with his whole life, so that God's children would remember it and join in and sing it too. This is what you'll need for today's craft. Some bun cases, some glue, some buttons, colours, scissors, and a page. The first thing that you do is you take your cupcake paper and you make snips around the edges, just going to that centre piece. Try to make them equal if you can. A grown-up can help you with that part if you need to. If you're not old enough to be using scissors, you're on your own. Now press it down in the centre. I've left, this one's quite big, so I've put it near the top. And I'm going to take one of my buttons and I'm going to stick the button in the middle for the centre of the flower. Now if you don't have any fancy cupcake papers and you just have a wee plain one, well, you can take that plain bun case and you can colour around the edge of it using your colours. And this one here I have already snipped, and I'm going to leave it a little bit lower, further down the page, and I'm sticking that there, and I'm going to put my button right in the middle. Now you can take your felt tips and you can draw the stems on your flower. So you can draw just one line and some nice big leaves onto your stem of your flower. And you can colour those in. Now if you don't want to make the flowers, you could also make the birds, or if you wanted to, you could combine the two. But if you want to make the little birds, the birds are quite cute, so I'm turning my page this way instead, just so I can fit it on properly. Again, take your cupcake paper and you fold it in half. Put some glue on the back and you're going to just set your cupcake paper down. Glue it down. You might want to put a wee bit of glue in the inside of it. And I've taken a plain cupcake paper and I've just coloured in half of it and folded it in half, and I'm just going to put it a wee bit lower. Now you could do as many birds or as many flowers as you would like. Then I'm going to take my orange felt tip and I'm going to draw a little triangle for its little beak, and then underneath I'm just going to put a little line and 3 little lines to make the little bird's feet. And this little craft just reminds us of the story that we were learning earlier of how God, whenever He can look after the flowers and the birds, how much more He will be able to look after us. The final thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of the little buttons that I had and I'm going to pop it on to my little bird for its eyes. There again. And that's our craft. So you could have the birds, or you could have the flowers, or if you wanted to, you could even combine them both and do half of it, the flower, and the other half with a little bird. And it just reminds us that Jesus told us not to worry, that God looks after the birds and the flowers, and He will look after you too.
All recordings of the Jesus Storybook Bible have been used with kind permission of HarperCollins Christian Publishing.